Hello and welcome to another episode of Stock Shots. Please remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just giving my opinion based on some things I see, like support and resistance, supply, demand, and of course, some indicators that may be on the screen. So always do your own due diligence. Make sure you educate yourself and always look to the left because we're looking at things that have already happened to think about what things may do in the future. So this is another episode of Stock Shots. Welcome.
Okay, here we go, getting started with SPX, aka the C Fund, and let's get started. We're going to make sure that we look first and foremost at the volume. So we had our break of our resistance, which is the last high here at 52.60. At this point, do we have good positive volume? Yes. So if you are unsure and you're like, I'm not sure if I should get in, well, you can do a simple thing by changing your candles over to Hikinashi. You can actually see the pretty much we are still in a good uptrend here. We had a gap down here that was filled, and that was filled in a daily time frame. So I'm going to show you that gap. It was right here. So back here on February 22nd, we had a gap that was filled from SPX, aka the C Fund, going to the upside. We came back, we filled that gap, now we're going up. So here's the thing. Once you see that pullback, I want you to measure. This is a great way if you're looking at SPX, aka the C Fund. How far was that pullback? Was it an average of about 6%? If it's right at 6%, a little bit under 6%, that's probably the pullback you're waiting for to get in. All right, so now we have a confirmed. At this point, we have broken above, once again, that high of 52.60. We are on pretty good volume. So in the weekly, remember, we're always charting the weekly time frame for our funds as we go forward. So we have a good break here, and for confirmation, I just got a buy signal. All right, so I just got my buy signal. This was the pullback. If you got in earlier, great. I'll wait for confirmation. I'm not losing none of my money. The next place I'm looking for is up here at 54.49, aka 54.50. If I can break that, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm looking for even numbers. So my next place, if I'm at 54.50, it would be 55 flat, 5,500 flat, then 55, probably 55.50 in the middle, and then of course 5,600. So remember, these are all controlled by algorithms. They have their own mission. It is not our mission, but you have to be able to spot where it is. At this point, here are some things that you can look for. It's very easy. If you are a moving average trader or moving average investor, when the moving averages get close, that's usually a good sign to get in. I waited for confirmation because this is going to be my TSP, so I'm not trying to lose any money. Now I'm going back into the C fund. Let's go over to the S fund and see what's going on there, aka the Dow Jones. So essentially this one is not yet in a buy signal on the weekly. I will definitely show you on the daily. I've gotten a buy signal. It was back here on the 26th of April. It had a smooth little roll up, and it's going pretty good, but I'm waiting here for this one to get into the buy for the S fund. Now down here I'm still in the buy zone. I never went below the 50. Right here in this little indicator I have at the bottom, I'm in green. I can go for it. I'm above my 48-day moving average, my 200-day moving average, and my 100-day moving average. So at this point, I can get in for a buy. This was a quick little pullback. Of course, we're looking for a break of our 2100 level. After 2100, I'm looking for a 2205, and then indicator states you want to look up here for the 2263 and then 2288. So those are the areas I'm looking for in the S fund. At this time, I can go ahead and at least do the C fund. I'm going to do that one. S fund, I'm probably going to wait maybe a couple days. Well, I really don't have to because I did get a buy signal in the daily chart. My next area will be 2100, and then after that it will be 2162 in the daily. So I can go ahead and go back into the C and S fund at this time. Now let's look at the international fund. Not E3, EFA. There we go. So the international fund, we're in a daily. We're going to go. Whoa. So some things we have to mark out in the daily right now before we even do this. Let's make sure you know this as you go forward. There's a gap there. We got another gap down here in this area. Granted, it's smaller, but it's there. So if you happen to see these funds coming down, you are going to be able to see that in these two areas, you're probably going to get your price action coming down to the 80 and maybe even the 78 if you get price action going down. Okay, now currently, I missed that. Let's put that back where it was. Make it a little bit smaller because you couldn't even see it. All right, currently we are in a strong uptrend. We had a small pullback here from the 79 all the way down to essentially what we had at the 76 area. Now we're moving up. We're looking for that 82 to get broken again. We're looking for stronger volume. So this is what I want you to look at. In the international fund, your last highest volume over the last couple of weeks was all selling pressure for that pullback. The volume going forward is decreasing. All right, so you have decreasing volume at all-time highs. If you don't know what that means you should be looking for maybe another pullback or a downtrend. We're looking for strong volume going forward. So I'm going to be cautious with the international fund. No, I'm not doing anything with it. I'll rather just mess with the C and the S fund. Even though this is having decreasing volume, you're still able to make plays with this. It can still go up further. There's nothing saying that it's going to get right here to the 82 level and then, or that 82.17 and then completely break down. It can go all the way up to 82.21 and then it may start breaking down. But the main thing for the international fund is this volume. It needs to go up. It is currently going down. Now, are we in buy zones? Of course we are. So let's see what we have in the weekly. In the weekly, we've been in a buy zone for a long time. Now, we may have had some areas here to add. We got some pluses here, so that means you could have added to your position or put your money back into the international fund. But it's a pretty good uptrend. We came out of a channel that we had here. So what I may do is I may readjust this channel because this may be the new low of said channel. But here's the thing. There's nothing here to go off of. So when you adjust the channel, you always got to look back. If you see that there is nothing at the bottom here, don't bother readjusting. This is what you had and it was correct. You had a channel break and now we were looking to get back into the channel. So what you can do is now readjust that channel to the long side, meaning stretch it out. If it gets back into this channel, you're looking for areas up here that may actually coincide with your support and resistance. So international fund, I would like larger volume. At this time, I'm going to stay away from it. We'll only play with the S and C fund at this time, but let's look at that bond fund. Okay, so if you have not heard, China sold a bunch of bonds. I'm looking to see what kind of effect that's going to have on the market going forward because bonds lead our stock market. If we have the biggest buyer of our US bonds selling them, it's not a good thing. you may be seeing the future of the stock market go down just slightly and then a good strong pump later. Okay, so the thing I'm looking for with the bond market currently, I have a downtrend. So I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to actually put a channel here. And if we did it off of this right here, this candle, we're basing our trend off of this candle right here. So make sure you can see it. This candle is the bottom of our channel. We came out of that channel. We hit our support and bounced right back up into that channel. But as you can see, it is still a downward trend. So even though we could be in a buy zone, are we only going to buy up until we get to 97 or that 98? So let's see what we got. Currently, we're still in the sell zone. We're right above the 48-day moving average, but we are bouncing off the 14-day moving average, which is a good place to see orders accumulate. At this time, I'm looking at price going down further in the bond market. So just be wary of that. If you're in the bond market, the price most likely will go back down. And even if it goes down and does not hit that 95.27 area, it may come down and hit around that 95.60 area. But that's it for this week on Stock Shots. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you, and catch you next week.